Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a review impressions of a cool knife. This is the Bodacious in Lynch Northwest titanium scales. Let's talk about this. All right, today we're looking at the Spyderco Bodacious. Now this is not your regular Bodacious, this is in the Lynch Northwest titanium scales. This particular pattern is called Spyderco Bodacious Skinny Circuit Rider scales. They're titanium in the Blurple fade. So this is Blurple fade on the inside and then a Blurple Spyderco clip. Now one thing they do, Lynch Northwest, is they put it so you can put the regular 3-hole regular Spyderco clip in there, not the specific Shaman one that's on the regular scales, right? So typically you'd have to get a Shaman clip because I don't think Lynch Northwest sells, well they do, they sell one for the Shaman. It's a fold over. They don't have a milled version of this. But you could put a milled, one of their newer milled clips on there. I actually have one on one of my other knives over here. So over here I have this on the Fibonacci scale. This is their milled clip. I have this on the crew wear version here, which is just stunning. Love this knife right here. But this works really nicely. I think that would look pretty nice on here as well if you were to put that on there. So that's something you could possibly contemplate if you wanted something a little more posh than this, but it comes, this kit comes together. It's like about 185 bucks when they have them available. I did install the C.M.E, you'll notice that, which gives it a nice, like if you're left-handed and you want it to be able to close it left-handed, it does allow that without you having to, what is it, what do I normally do? Why have I suddenly, my brain, are you kidding me? See, I do this, but if I was over here, I would, oh, yeah, I would close, I would do this. I would, and it would catch here in my finger and then I would turn it and drop it. Something like that. I've had CMEs on my Spyderco so long now, I've forgotten what it's like not to have a CME. That's crazy. But anyways, yeah, so that's really cool right there. This is the S30V blade steel. I would love to get a premium metal version of this one, just because I'm not a big fan of S30V steel. It's really, you know, it's great steel. It is great steel, but it's, I like to get Spydercos because of their unique steels. Truth be told, that's one of the reasons why I collect so many different Spydercos. I have some unique steel like Maximate, Crew Wear, Magna Cut, S110V, Rex 121, Rex 45, stuff like that. I like all of that stuff. So, you know, anyways, that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy kind of collecting. S30V is kind of, it's really, I mean, it's a good, to me, it's like almost a budget steel, but it's not. Anyways, and they heat treat it really well, to be fair. But I love these scales. These are so much better than the regular, I happen to have them over here, the regular scales. Let me show you why. And this is part of the review because I think it's important to note. So on these guys, okay, here we go. I can take one out here. Now notice it is linerless. There's a linerless on the non-lock bar side, which is nice. That does some weight relief on the scales, which is really cool. So you do get a little weight relief and savings on that. But let me show you here. So on the G10, it's rather sharp right here, right? Now I did round this with a little bit of a Dremel and a file, so this is not as sharp as it was when it first came out. Boy, when it first came out, it was super edgy, super sharp, and just not to my liking. When I put these on with the beautiful chamfering that Lynch Northwest did, it just made it great. So we're reviewing the Bodacious and the Lynch Northwest scales together because this is the setup I have, and this is the knife that I would have or have in my collection, and so this is what I'm reviewing. And this is the one I would recommend, right? What I like about the titanium scales, it does give it a more solid, more premium feel. I love the chamfering all the way around, makes it more comfortable. I like the clip better. I don't like the standard Spyderco clip. It's kind of, I don't understand why they don't offer something else. I love a CME on here. I think that's just nice. I know the Sage 6, I have a Sage 5. The Sage 6 is coming out with like a Spyderco button compression lock. I like that. I wish they would do more of that. I wish that would be something they would do more in other knives because I think that would just really make their compression lock go to the next level. I appreciate OCD for EDC making these. These are just great. It takes a traditional knife like it is now and make it more functional as far as I'm concerned, right? So I have G10 C.M.E, but I have some titanium C.M.Es on some of my premium knives. I don't have one here. I don't know where it is, but that, like on my full custom RG Custom Metalworks Pair 3, looks really nice. So you have different CMEs if you wanted to do that, just so you know. Always recommend those, highly like them. Now this steel right here is the S30V blade steel. I did find out that this is the same steel that they make this steel out of. So it's one and the same, just to keep that in mind. I think that's kind of cool. So if you replace the scale and you replace the backspacer, then you'll lose that, but it is the same steel. So if it's crew wear, it'd be crew wear. If it was S110, it'd be S110. If it's S30V, it's S30V. So there you go. If it's S45VN, it'd be S45VN, so on. Titanium clips I like better because they're more flexible and they retain their shape. They're more elastic. They go back to where they were. I tend to bend steel clips, so that's a big deal. So the name of this is the Spyderco Bodacious. This is a design by the owner. I could not tell you his name. I just know it's Spyderco. It's such a big company. So he's the guy who actually designed this as a kind of a new iteration of the Shaman, where you don't have the finger choil, you have more cutting blade, which is nice. I mean, for some people, they're going to really enjoy that. And ironically enough, it front flips really well as well. So if you wanted to front flip it, this is not a bad front flipping knife, even without the cutaway there. I mean, if you could get rid of some of that, it would make that a little easier to flip, but it still flips pretty well. So you can see I can put my finger right there, squeeze in, go up, and it pretty much front flips by itself. I like that. A lot of the blades exposed, so I think, yeah, I don't have enough traction. The Spidey hole is really the best way to do it besides that right there, because there's enough traction on that jimping. It's really good jimping, by the way. So the materials, S30V end blade steel, titanium, S30V backspacer, titanium clip, Blurple anodized, C.M.E was G10. I love that. Phosphor bronze washers on the inside, nice and dead nut centered. Compression lock we've got going on there, which is really cool. Action is pretty nice. You can hear the detent going in. There's a detent ball on the compression lock, so let's just listen. No detent lash, one more time. All right, so that's really nice. It opens with the Spidey hole. That's technically its opening, but like with a compression lock, you can use it like if you were doing a crossbar lock or button lock. So I can open it with the compression lock too, right? So I could do that, which is a little different than what you would do with a frame lock, right? Or a liner lock. I think that's kind of cool. So you have another means of opening it. And then there's a little bonus. Oops, gotta get right. Get a good grip, make sure you're there, and flip forward. An easy little bonus flip there. I like that. It closes by pressing the compression lock with the C.M.E. Makes that super easy, both left and right-handed. So I can close it left-handed over here. Whereas over here, when you're closing it over here, I'd have to hold it like this to be able to close it, and then it would catch on here, and then I would close it this way, like let it drop. What's nice about the C.M.E. is I can hold it two hands right there and it closes together. I can have a better grip because when you go in there, your hands aren't as stable as they are like this, where I'm pushing my thumb on the scale and pushing that in. Whereas I have to go all the way in, I have to take my thumb off, and then I'm hoping this is enough grip over here, and you can drop it, right? So you don't want to do that. It also makes it very convenient for left-handed people. That's the nice benefit of the C.M.E. So the blade is your typical leaf blade. This is part of the, I believe it's called the Native series. The Shaman's part of the Native series, if I remember correctly what people have said. I don't know the lore of Spyderco. I just know I like the Shaman, I like the Bodacious, I like the Pair 3, I like the PM2, I like the Sage 5, I like the Smock, I like the Mannix 2. What else do I have? I think that's all the Spydercos that I currently own. I had a little Native that was cool. I ended up selling or giving that away. I had to for another Grail knife. All right. My wife has a little Native that she enjoys. She had a Dragonfly too. So those are all nice little knives. I think they're all cool. Yeah, I'd like to get a Sage 6 at some point if I can get that carbon fiber, but I bet it's going to be next to impossible. So the Sage 6 is kind of out of my book because I don't want an S30V, another blade steel. I don't know, it's just boring to me. I know it's not. Some of you guys are going to argue, S30V, heat. I get it. I get it. I understand. I'm not saying that. I'm not arguing that S30V is not heat treated absolutely superbly, probably the best heat treat out there of S30V of any maker. I get it. They really knock it out of the park. It's better than probably many other people's premium steels. I get it. I just don't want it, right? I don't want it. I want some of their premium steel, and that's why I collect Spydercos, right? That's my choice, my collection, my decision. Likewise, it's your decision, your collection, your choice. You can collect all the S30Vs if that's what you love, right? We all get to choose. All right, so the blade, I love the full flat grind. Well, actually, this one's not a full flat grind. It comes to a little flat spot up there, so it's technically not a full flat grind, but it is a flat grind. Pretty robust blade. We'll measure this in a second. I think it might be a little thinner than the Shaman, but it does come to a nice thin edge, super crazy sharp, of course. What else do we want to talk about? Opening, closing blade. We talked about that. The scales, love the chamfering, all that stuff. Let's get into some measurements. All right, let's see how much this guy weighs, because it's not light. This guy weighs 5 ounces. Now, I will tell you with these two over here, yeah, that was 2 ounces. I think you save an ounce, if I remember correctly, by taking the liner out, because it's a steel liner. So it definitely adds some weight to it. Now, this is not a super small knife, right? It's not a little, but it's not a gigantic knife, I don't think, personally. So this knife right here is 8 1/4 inches, which is not bad. I think it's a great size, great size. Now, if we take the finger control of this up here, we've got 4 3/4 of an inch. If you go right here, it's exactly 4 inches between the two. But if you use this little part, you get about 4 1/4. You could get up to almost 4 1/2 if you go out a little bit, but that's pretty good. Blade length, we're talking from the tip to the back, is 3 5/8. The actual cutting length is just, I want to say, 3 9/16 of an inch, probably. That's fair. 3 9/16, just over 3.5 inches. All right, blade stock thickness. Let's take a look at that. Let me just clean this off, because that, believe it or not, on a set of calibers that's very tuned, that's important. All right, so our blade stock thickness on this guy is 125 thousandths of an inch. Or 126 thousandths of an inch. Yeah, 126 thousandths of an inch, which is not bad. I mean, that's a pretty decent edge. I think, let's just, for giggles, let's just measure that to a pair of 3 real quick. 145 thousandths of an inch? Wait a second. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Now, this is a full flat grind, the PM3. The pair 3, sorry, the pair 3, I say PM3. It's PM2 pair 3. That's the official names. You get corrected if you don't say it right. But I will say that, yeah, I like this one here. So that's cool. All right. So thinner blade, which is another reason why it's a little slicier, and probably some people are really excited about it. Some people don't want the finger control, and that's fair. That's a fair decision, fair request. I think this gives you a better presentation for some people's purposes and what they like, and just a nice knife. I do wish the natural G10 scales had some chamfering. I like the fact that it's G10. I did file mine down. They were super sharp when I got them, but I could have filed them down to this sort of filing. I could have rounded them more. I just did very minimum, just because they were crazy sharp. I mean, they felt like they just got off the grinding machine and someone hadn't done anything with them, right? And like basic finishing wasn't done. So I did that. But this is the Lynch Northwest scales are much better. I like what Lynch Northwest does. I mean, I have the Fibonacci. I've had some other scales. We've given away some scales on this channel thanks to Lynch Northwest. I have the Lynch Northwest clips on a ton of things. This is my first milled scale. It's actually 2 screws in and then 3 screws in and then 2 screws on top here that gives it kind of that milling. And if you'll see, kind of relatively deep. Now, the only thing that is a bummer, you'll see there's a little lip. It's not recessed. That does stick out, and so you have that sharp edge. I wish they would drop that. And then these edges over here tend to be a little sharp. I wish that was a little more rounded as well. It's not bad. It's not bad. This is fine when it's inside the scale. If it sticks out and above, it's uncomfortable. So that's why I think on here it would work really nicely. I put this on a Mannix, which I thought would be really cool. It sticks up too far and it sticks out, and it's uncomfortable for me. And actually a little bit of the bottom sticks out, so that's just a no-go. So it's not really, for me, it's not Mannix friendly. Now the Mannix, if you have the Mannix with the wire clip, that's like the FRN scales or something like that, they work beautifully. I get the wire clip ones. I think that's nice. All right, so We talked about the blade, we talked about how it opens and closes, we talked about the weight, the length, the blade stock thickness. What's the category? All right, so when we're talking about this knife, the Bodacious right now, it was when it first came out, it was like $279 or something like that. That was ridiculous. I wasn't gonna pay for that. Got a great sale at Christmas, which at the time I thought was fantastic. Now, the prices on these are around, I think, $229. Which is, I think, a much more reasonable price. I think that's a really good price. Definitely competitive to the Shaman, especially since you don't have the contoured scales. The Shaman has contoured scales, right? The Shaman has a little thicker blade. So that does, I think, add some, to me, that's more milling time. It's more process as far as getting scales on there. I think that's more justifiable for that price. It's probably still a little high compared to what they used to be, but you know, it's more justifiable. But the Bodacious wasn't. I couldn't, 270, I was like, just no. But 229, 225, whatever it is, that's more reasonable. So we're looking at 229 with a $185 scale. So we're looking at a $410 knife. But then you also put the C.M.E, that's another 30, 35 bucks. Well, 30 if you get the shipping and tax, and 35. So we're looking at $450 knife right here. Right, and then this clip comes part of this scale kit, so you don't have to buy that. That was already included. But if you want a different kit, that's extra. But to me, that's pretty decent. Now I know Rockscale Designs, they make some Shaman scale, Bodacious scales. I haven't tried those out yet. Would like to try those out at some point. I think I'm gonna wait to try those out when I get a more premium. Yeah, so that's what I remember. It was like that. You close it there, and then you drop it over here. You have to push it or something, or you switch hands to do it. Just because. You can't really get in there with two fingers unless you have a C.M.E on there, because then I can get the grip, I can put my finger here, I can still push in and still have this thumb on here because you see how close it is. Yeah. So anyways, so we're looking at $425, $450, you know, for this build here particular, which I think is outstanding. I mean, now, you don't have to put scales on. You don't have to do these. You can just leave the G10, and you can leave just the standard, let me see here, where is it? There's standard clip right there. If you're fine with that, go for it, right? There's no need, that's not a requirement. If you're a big fan of their, you know, what they do, then, you know, stick with it, right? But I did get the anodized Blurple clip that came with it, so the kit that they offered, so I was like, yeah, I'm doing that. And I was very excited to check this out. From Lynch Northwest, I highly recommend this. I highly recommend this. Definitely something I think you guys should maybe go check out, right? Really, really nice scales, really nice complement to this particular build. I think this makes this a very almost premium knife as far as I'm concerned. I'm a little, you're gonna disagree with me on this, but I'm a little snobby because I want a premium steel. I want a premium steel in this knife. That's what I want. For this premium scales, I want a premium steel. Okay, I gotta be honest with you. That's just what I want. I'm waiting for it, but that's what I want. So we'll see. But this makes it as premium as it can be for now. And it's nice, it's nice. I got a chance to check it out. I do like it. At first everyone was really mad at them because of how priced they were, and then they dropped their price. Now they're more reasonable, and I think it's a nice knife. It really is. At S30V for $229, I think that's a good deal. All right, so the knife itself, if you were to get it, it's gonna be in the regular category. It's gonna be between $100 and $300. This build is definitely in the higher end because it's way over $300, right? So with the scales, with the knife, with the C.M.E, this definitely puts it between $300 and $600, no question. So it's gonna be at higher end. If you want the higher end full build, yeah, that's higher end category. If you want just the Bodacious with the regular G10 scales, yeah, then it's gonna be in the regular category. It'll be about $225, $229, something like that. If you want to add clip, you want to add C.M.E, those are extra costs. You know, it can be anywhere from $20 to $50, right? It depends on what you want. But I think it's worth it. I think it's justified. Purpose EDC hard use collection piece, absolutely could be a collection piece. You could say you had one of the very first run Bodacious if you want, and there you go, you collected it. Maybe that's important to you. Hard use, oh, I think so. My Shaman is a hard use. I love using that. That's a big boy, and even as pretty and nice it is, I still use that thing. I use it for a lot of stuff. I keep it clean. You don't really think I use it, but I do. I use it. Some people make comments, I never use my knives. That's fine. You don't know. You're not here. You don't see what I do, but that's okay. That's okay. You live in your little bubble and do your own thing. If that makes you feel big and tall, you say it away. I don't care. I use my knives The ones I choose to use, I use well. The ones I choose to carry and enjoy, you know, I carry and use them sparingly because, you know, those are grails or things that I want to keep in my collection. I still use them. I'll open boxes, I'll open cases of water, but I'm not going to go, you know, work in the yard, cut down branches or anything with them. I would with the Spyderco and probably with the Bodacious. So yeah, there you go. All right. EDC, 100%, hard use, 100%, collection piece, whatever. All right, ergos and feel, handles. With the Lynch Northwest titanium skinny, and these are the skinny because you see it took a little cutout, and I really like the skinny, by the way. That's really nice. Whereas what makes the difference when it's not skinny, let me show you, if you're curious. All right. So there's two things that they did on these. Get these lined up. All right. So you'll see this sticks up a little bit more here, makes it a little wider. There's a little tip that sticks out. They flatten that out, which is really nice. By the way, it gives you a nice grip. You can actually reach back if you've got a big old hand. That's a big deal. The tip here is not quite as, this goes out a little bit further. This comes back a little bit. I think Lynch Northwest did really good in executing that way. I'm glad they did. I think they, you know, the problem is you're right at, let me see. I could do it, but I'd be real close to hitting the liner over here. But I mean, that's the smart move right here. I think that just looks better and works better on the knife, personally. Just my 2 cents on that, okay? Don't have to agree, but that's my 2 cents on that. I like that. Yeah, so I think that's cool. Overall design, lanyard. There's not a lanyard on here. There is on here, the hole straight through. You do the lanyard, but it's not a lanyard loop. There's not a lanyard hole. It's just a hole straight through. And I do believe that hole goes through. Yeah, the hole would go through right behind the backspacer here. All right, the clip. I like this clip over the standard Spyderco clip, but standard Spyder clip, it works. I know the opening and closing textures. The texture here, this is very functional. It's always super grippy, almost overly aggressive sometimes. Some people tend to file that down after a while or just wears after a lot of use. But it's nice about it, it does allow for that front flipping. That works really pretty easily. It's not a big effort to do. You know, if you get the motion correct, you know, it actually works relatively nicely. I think I was able to do it. Let's see, can I do it? Yeah, I can do it left-handed as well. So it does work pretty nicely, and so I appreciate that. I don't know if I Loctite this clip because I think, yeah, we have a little pivot play. I didn't Loctite this yet, so let me. That's the only thing about when you build this, you know, and so it was getting off center there, and it was. So I got to put a little Loctite on there. I noticed, you see how it was not dead nut center for a second? That was because the pivot did move. I got to Loctite these. Spyderco is notorious. You got to make sure you Loctite them. And when you Loctite them, let them sit for 24 hours. Don't be impatient. Don't have too much oil on there. Let them sit. Let the Loctite set. I'm telling you, if you don't, it's not going to set. It's going to break. And then you're going to have pivot movement, you know, pivot rock or pivot, whatever you call it. That's going to happen. What is it? Oh, I can't talk today. Guys, somebody's going to comment down below. You know, pivot, screw creep, whatever you call it, pivot creep, I don't know. I've actually lost screws because I didn't check them and didn't check them for Loctite. Like I had a really nice custom knife and I lost one of the screws because he'd used G10 for the first time ever and he'd not ever had to put Loctite on there. But G10 is one of those that, because of the flexing, the screws tend to move and you want to put Loctite so it locks into where the threads are in, because the flexibility of G10 can cause it to creep a little bit, right? And to rock, and it loosens the screw. All right, anyways, so all that is really nice. Overall feel, I like it. I like it a lot. I really like it a lot. Everything about this knife is superb, except for the steel. I know you're like, come on, Robert. I know. I want premium steel. Come on, Spyderco, give me premium steel, man. We're all begging for it. You know we all are. I know you're just trying to get these out in the wild, but man, come on. Give us some premium steel, even if it's a small run. There's so many of us who want that. Anyways, yeah, I like it. Overall feel is good for opening and closing. I like it a lot. especially with a C.M.E. Now, if you're not a C.M.E. fan, that's fine. It works perfectly fine. It's a normal compression lock, but I like the C.M.E. on here, and the C.M.E. just makes it even better. Still great. Compression lock is nice, but the C.M.E. is, I think, the way to go. Just make sure you install it correctly. You need steel glue that works on steel with the G10, and you got to make sure you install it. It's got to be faced, it's got to be flat, it's got to be clean, and you got to let that sit, man. You can't be impatient about that. 24 hours for that glue to cure, at least, okay? If you don't, it'll come off. Trust me, it will come off. I've been too impatient too many times, and I know. I've done a lot of CMEs. But once you do them, they're fun. They're fun. All right, so what do I think fidget factor? Well, thumb hole, the Spidey hole, actually, it's technically the Spidey hole, is great. The compression lock, let me do that again, is great. The front flipping is great. That's a bonus flake, but that's solid. It's very, very consistent. Even sweaty, dry hands, whatever, it's really consistent. So I'm gonna give this, I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm gonna give this a 7 just because they do it so well. I would give the Shaman a 7 too, I think. Yeah, I have a Shaman that's almost an 8 because it does clear this, and it's such a light flip to do this. Like I can come up here barely and just like that, but I don't have anything in the way. So it's like I can literally do a reach around and flip it, which is cool. So that one, this one is definitely gonna be a 7. All right, so 7. What is the fidgety goodness on this one? Well, I'm gonna give it 100%. I love Spyderco. I do. I love Spyderco. It's 100%. If I could take points off for steel, there would be points off. But I can't knock it for the steel. I can be upset about it. I can tell them, please give me some, but I can't be upset. Perfect, absolute perfect access to that Spidey hole left and right hand, which makes it great with a C.M.E. It's super left hand friendly. Now, this right here, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if they can do it. They might be able to drill a lefty version of this. I don't remember if that's available. You might have to reach out to them and find out. I know Rockscale Design does that. I don't know if these guys, Lynch Northwest does, but they might be able to do, like if you ask them to drill the holes on the left-hand side instead for the right, I think they might, I don't know. Ask them. I don't know. I'm not a lefty. I never thought to ask, but definitely worth asking. I can't give you the information. I don't know, but right hand tip up only works beautifully. So fidgety goodness is 100%. Is this recommended? 100% recommended. Yeah. Is it one of my favorite knives? Yes, absolutely one of my favorite knives. It would be more favorite if it had a premium steel. I know you're gonna tell me shut up, but yeah, it'd be more premium if it had premium steel. More favorite if it was a premium steel. I like this. I like this a lot. I really like it with the Lynch Northwest scales, titanium clip. Because man, I've been those steel clips, and I really like it with the C.M.E. I really appreciate OCD for EDC making the C.M.E. for the Bodacious. I've actually installed this one time, and it's held up really, really, really well. I think I finally, been patient enough to let it cure. All right, that's the Bodacious. Let me know what you think about it if you have a Bodacious, what your experience is. Did you put any custom scales on there? Are you using some other custom scales? I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Also, if you have the Lynch Northwest scales, which ones did you get? Did you get the same ones? Do you like them? Did you get a different one? Let me know, all right? Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the channel really helps me out, allows me to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you to everyone who watches the videos, enjoys the content, is part of the community. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, maybe consider hitting the notification button down below so you can be notified of future content like this and other videos. And a big shout out to all my channel members out there. I appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you. Sincerely, thank you. I appreciate you. You do two amazing things. You encourage me. I don't do this full-time, part-time, so you remind me why I love doing this. And because of your generous support, you allow me to do things way sooner than I thought. For instance, we do a weekly budget banger giveaways. I couldn't do that without you. I could check out knives and cover the shipping costs. I couldn't do that with you. I can ship out the weekly giveaways. I couldn't do that without you. I can buy more giveaways, obviously, and have the tools that I need to make this channel work. I couldn't do that without you. So thank you channel members. I do put everything I get in this channel back into it, so I just want you to know that. I would love for this channel to keep growing, but it wouldn't be where it's at without the channel members and your support, so thank you. As a way for me to say thank you to channel members, I do two exclusive things for them. I do a once a month members exclusive giveaway. So that 1 week and the month when we do the members exclusive giveaway, there will be a second giveaway after the budget banger. It'll be for you members. Usually I try to do something between $100 and $300, something nice, something you'd want to maybe get or something give to somebody else, right? So I try to do that. The other thing I also try to do is all brand new channel members love to send you a channel sticker and a thank you note. A little thank you Just telling you I appreciate you. Now, technically, that usually applies to 99.9% of everybody, new channel members, but sometimes it could be others. So basically, if you are actively currently a channel member right now, you've never asked and received a channel sticker, that's usually 99.9% new channel members, but it could be members who've been members all along, never asked, or members who were members and became members again. Yeah, if you've not received a channel sticker from me, please email me with your name and address. I'd love to send you a channel sticker and a thank you note. All right, if you haven't already, check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.